Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. There has been tremendous activity, price action, surrounding XRP on United States exchanges today. Probably not surprising. If you're in the XRP community, you saw the price action that has occurred. You're talking about XRP running up today to 75 cents roughly, having a massive retrace. Well, even on the downside, that represents a lot of activity, a lot of selling, and there are only a few exchanges in the United States still allowing the trading of XRP, and a couple of them would be Uphold and Bitrue, and they both experienced some downside, or some downtime rather. And I'm sympathetic to anybody who had their trade disrupted, but I want to share with you my perspective, and because I have to tell you, look, I'm actually more sympathetic than perhaps the typical individual. So, look, I appreciate diversity of thought, and this is not to diminish your position. If you're one of the individuals that didn't get to trade when you wanted to, how you wanted to, I'm sympathetic to that too. But I have, as a business owner, and maybe that's why I just kind of have a unique perspective that maybe you might not have considered. So I just want to share it with you. And if you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. We can still be friends. I'm all about diversity of thought on this channel. And I also want to share with you, there was an awesome interview between the CEO of Uphold, JP Theriot. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I can never remember. I've heard it pronounced correctly before, and I can never remember if it's Theriot or Therio, so I hope I'm saying it correctly and saying Theriot. I apologize if not. But anyway, he was part of a roundtable discussion here on this channel, On the Chain Live, just yesterday. And I watched this whole video earlier today. It went a little over an hour long. And there were portions of it that were where CEO JP here, CEO of cryptocurrency exchange Uphold, was talking about his viewpoints on what's going on with the SEC versus Ripple, XRP as a security. And so as I was watching, I took some notes. I want to share with you some of the key things that he had to say. It's always incredible to get perspective from an individual like this who is certainly more in the know than your typical individual. He lives and breathes all of this, right? He's the CEO of a cryptocurrency exchange. And they're actually doing a whole lot more of that, which is outside the scope of this video, but it's really impressive what their business model is. And so I'd encourage you to check out this video if you've got the extra time, if you're walking your dog or, I don't know, cleaning up your house, listening in the background or something like that. It was a great, and so shout out to the folks over at On the Chain Live. But look, here's the thing. So I mentioned it. Look, with me being a business owner, like, there are instances where, despite my best intentions, the best intentions of my employees, my company as a whole, we fall short. We're human, and we make mistakes, right? And so, to me, the measure of a good company is not whether mistakes are made, not explicitly, not exclusively, but it's to me, the measure of a good company is, how do you respond when mistakes are made? How do you remedy the situation and make things right with customers? And so for a cryptocurrency exchange like Uphold or Bitrue, it comes down to really a big part of it, in my opinion, is open and honest communication. Because look, I've been using Uphold, and look, they're not paying me to say any of this. This is my honest opinion. Like, I've been using them for over 2.5 years, and they are fantastic. I love the interface. I love the customer support. They don't ignore you. Like that's been my experience. And I've had a great, I've never once gone to use Uphold, and I didn't use them today because I wasn't buying or selling anything, but I've never gone to use Uphold and had a situation where they're down. Whereas, there's a cryptocurrency exchange like Coinbase, and I actually like their interface too. Like that's a fine cryptocurrency exchange. They're down all the time. If there's something resembling, volatility or volume rather, in the crypto space, a little bit higher than normal, that's the joke. It's like, how can you tell if there's a bull run in the crypto space? Coinbase is down. That's the joke. And there's a reason that there's that joke. And again, this is not me trying to just for the sake of it say negative things about Coinbase. I still, like I said, I do like Coinbase. But for them, it gets to a point where it's like time after time after time, and you've had years to correct this. Even me, I'm sitting here questioning, like, what the hell's going on? Whereas with an exchange like Uphold, like, they're almost never down. And so it's still always a disappointment when this happens. But I just wanted to try and add some perspective and just highlight that it's not just the official Uphold Twitter account that's acknowledging this. It's the CEO, JP, responding to disappointed customers on Twitter. He doesn't have to do that, but he is. Now, to me, what I just said a moment ago, the mark of a good company is what do you do? Like addressing the customer concerns and moving forward, acknowledging it, and not just promising to do better, but actually taking steps to do better, which I believe what he's saying here. And I'm going to highlight a couple of these tweets here, but I do believe that to be the case here. And so here's a tweet from cryptocurrency exchange, the official account Uphold, who wrote, "If you experience occasional slow running of the app, bear in mind we're dealing with vast volumes. We conducted a major server upgrade yesterday and expect minimal disruption. Big team of engineers monitoring constantly. If you run into issues, give it a few minutes and try again." Right? And so this was before some of the more notable outages this morning. And so they anticipated that there could be this, and they proactively took steps to address this, and fine, they fell short. Nobody's perfect. No company's perfect. And so there's somebody here on Twitter responded to that tweet and wrote, THMCG, "Well, you succeeded, Uphold," and tagged JP also. "What are you so afraid of? Your liquid cash protection is more important than a free market. When we lose, you lose. I vow to never use your platform again." Well, I'll tell you what, I vow to continue using the platform because I'm telling you guys, like, they're almost never down. And then just the customer response. But JP responded to this, CEO of Uphold, and wrote, "Overwhelming load causing new bottlenecks. Dozens of engineers resolving in real time. Sorry to disappoint. Minimizing interruptions as best we can." Here's another tweet from JP. "After yesterday's upgrade, our trading systems are working smoothly. There might be hiccups for seconds as the system rebounces or there's a flash overload, but thus far all systems go." So again, this was at 6:21 a.m. before some of the major problems began to arise. But then after them, well, how about that? Take a look at this. Owning the problem. Yeah, that's what I want to go to next. So here's another tweet from JP. "We're deeply sorry to all of our users who had difficulties trading this morning. We're still investigating why our server upgrades failed to handle this morning's load." And here's another not so happy individual. And again, this is not to just say you're wrong for being upset if you didn't have your transaction process. No, nobody won here. It's kind of the position that I'm taking. I'm just trying to encourage you to just be as open-minded as you can and just consider the other perspective. But here's somebody named Engelbert, who wrote the following in response to that tweet from JP. "There is a sense of distrust forming within crypto communities regarding the timing of these exchange shutdowns. Surely there will be a report or some data you could publicly share with customers to confirm that this was a genuine issue." Yeah, and so as far as the distrust forming, I guess some people just assume there's ill intent. You got to understand, but like, this is not good for their business. There is no intent. Like, this is not what they are aiming for. And I understand why people could start to go in that direction, especially with a platform like Coinbase, where it seems to happen all the damn time. But JP responded and wrote, "Occam's razor, folks. Exchanges go down when activity overwhelms infrastructure. Ours goes down very rarely, certainly far less than our competitors, but when it does, the only sure loser is us. It's an embarrassment. The notion that we do it on purpose is truly ridiculous." And I think that's a fair response. All right. And then there's this tweet from the official Uphold account. "Amazing to see the impact of the Wall Street Bets movement and its well-articulated point about legacy finance. As focus switches to certain cryptos, be aware of the risks of participating in potentially disorderly markets. Real risks involved, and you may face a heightened risk of financial loss." And so I appreciated seeing this because, I took a little bit of a beating too when I was tweeting out things along these lines yesterday. I made a video on this topic, not telling you to buy or sell because I don't offer financial advice, but urging caution. And I think at this point, rightfully so. I think it's proven that the approach that I was taking there was reasonable. I do think it was reasonable. Because what ultimately happened, it was a buy the rumor, sell the news type of situation. And so there you have Uphold just saying, hey, they're not telling you to buy or sell. They're just saying, be careful. And they even did their best to prep for potential increase in volume. And then there's a tweet from JP along the same lines who wrote, "Agree with our friends at Flare regarding both XRP and Doge pumps. No shady shorts to squeeze here. And while folks might be trying to make a statement, perhaps an interesting one, somebody, maybe you, is going to be left holding the bag. Focus on underlying merits, not the hype." And indeed, it's true. And what did we see happen? A bunch of people bought the top and ended up losing a bunch of money. So I was just trying to warn here. All right, and so on to comments now from resulting from this. This was the On the Chain Live interview that happened just the other day, and I got some notes here, and I want to kind of run through some of the highlights of what JP had to say here. And so ultimately, look, here's something that he pointed out. Look, he and in general the team at Uphold, they really value the XRP community, and he made it clear. XRP holders make up a large percentage of their user base, okay? They spend, and this is interesting too. Like, I don't know if you guys have spent much time thinking about this. I mean, I wouldn't, because, this is not the industry in which I work. I run this YouTube channel as a fun hobby. I love it, and I appreciate all the support, but I don't have a background in blockchain or finance or any of this stuff. And it was just interesting to see, like, what does it take, in part, to run an exchange like this and make sure that you're legally compliant. And so he just noted that Uphold spends millions of dollars on regulatory compliance, and they would not break the law to continue listing XRP if it were illegal to do so. And so don't forget, like, they're experiencing all of this tremendous volume, not just because they have, like, very few competitors in the United States currently, also because of the news. And so they were aware of this. There could be tremendous volume coming in, and it did come in. Fine, fell short, but still, they're in this position where, like, they are being cheerleaders for XRP. They value, the XRP community. That they absolutely do. I firmly believe that. That's, and if you feel differently, fine. I respectfully disagree, and that's fine. Like, I will continue to say I'm all about diversity of thought and opinion, but they've taken this firm stance that is ultra rare for an exchange in the United States. Whether or not it's the most, expedient thing to do, just in terms of protecting their company, because they could have just done what most exchanges did and said, it's a legal risk, let's just not deal with it, and no longer trade XRP. And that probably would have been even safer, but they took a firm stance, and they've articulated why. I'm not going to get into all of that, review the official statements from JP and Uphold on this, which I have covered on the channel, though. But they took more of a contrarian approach, and they refused to stop trading XRP on their platform unless and until there's either insufficient volume for there to be a market for XRP, or until XRP is proven in court, adjudicated to be a cryptocurrency, which has not happened. And so I respect what they're doing here personally. We need more, I wish we had more entities out there cheerleading. So despite shortcomings today, I hope we can all at least appreciate that. This is a rare position. We've only got 3 off-ramps or so in the United States. If you want to turn your XRP into fiat, let's just keep that in mind. Now, Uphold's lawyers found, and this is interesting, check out their process here. Uphold's lawyers found that there was no legal problem to continue listing XRP on their exchange. We knew that, or else they wouldn't have done that, but it gets more interesting. Uphold also employs people that come from a regulatory consulting background, and they reviewed the lawyers' work and were in agreement with the lawyers that they're in the right, and it is not regulatory risky or improper, rather. That's probably I prefer to state it. It's not improper to be listing XRP. Now, you could make an argument that it's more risky, but that doesn't mean that Uphold's wrong. That would mean, like, if there's an increased risk, that just acknowledges that the SEC makes illogical decisions and could go after them if they want to. But they're doing instead what they know to be right. Okay. Next, the SEC's actions are contrary to their mission statement. JP pointed this out. Truer words have never been spoken, right? Because their mission statement has a lot to do with protecting consumers. And so in going after 2 individuals in Ripple, the company, for alleged improprieties, selling $1.3 billion worth of what they say is unregistered securities and sales of XRP, but wiping out how many billions of dollars in the process, is that really protecting consumers? For me, the clear answer is no. Absolutely not. I don't feel like the SEC is protecting me. I feel they've caused harm to every XRP holder, including me, including you if you hold XRP. And I don't know how to express just how disgusting that is to me. Now JP doesn't think the SEC, in their complaint against Ripple, is arguing that today XRP is a security, which is interesting because a lot of lawyers have said that they do believe that they're arguing that today it is. And I don't know, maybe it's somewhat subjective. If I were a lawyer, I'd probably have a stronger opinion. I don't know. But he thinks that they're more so arguing that it used to be at some previous point in time a security. And so if XRP, which he says is one of the original big 3 cryptocurrency, today is a security, what does that mean for every other crypto project out there? And he went on to cite, for instance, Filecoin. And so imagine, look, if one of the original big 3 is a security, I don't know why any other crypto project out there would feel like it's safe to continue conducting business in the United States. It's that big of a deal This is a huge moment in the history of the cryptocurrency asset class in the United States. And unfortunately, it's having broader implications, certainly price-wise, throughout the world. Yeah, that is clear. And then he brought up also, a gold mine can sell gold, but, gold mine can sell gold, but it can also sell company stock, right? So a gold mine selling gold does not make gold a security. Is that not a perfect analogy? And Greg Kidd, he had made effectively the same comparison also. It is outside of the realm of logic. It is a non sequitur. Does not make sense. Purely, like full stop. Does not make sense. Now, Uphold supported the Spark token airdrop, and he says, and this is interesting too. And it's not going to be surprising to you, I don't think, but he says they would have supported the Spark airdrop even if it occurred after the SEC claims against Ripple, because from their stance, again, the reason it shouldn't be surprising is their position is clear. XRP is not a security. And until there's a proper adjudication to indicate that from a legal perspective it absolutely today is a security, they're going to continue to allow the trade of XRP. So this is fully in lockstep with what they have not just said, but how they behaved. Makes all the sense in the world. And also went on to note as well that David Schwartz, who is Ripple's CTO, co-creator of the XRP ledger, along with, for instance, Stefan Thomas, who is a former, Ripple's former CTO, who now is running Coil, which is, I'm not going to get into in this video. Many of you, I'm sure, are aware. There's just always new people entering the space who might not know what I'm talking about, but it's a company that's utilizing ILP and XRP, a blend of these technologies, to come up with a new form of web monetization in which money streams so that you don't have to enter, you don't have to necessarily hit paywalls or deal with advertisements on the web. It's just a third option out there. And so he just cited that these are some of the most brilliant minds in payments, and he used the words full stop. So the notion that they were trying to game something or do something nefarious is an absolutely bogus idea. So it's always incredible to hear the insight they have here. And mind you, also in a separate interview, and I highlighted this, maybe I don't know if it was a week or two ago, Greg Kidd interviewed JP. And one of the things that he cited is that he said something along the lines like, I'd like to think that we've made wise decisions in terms of, I'm paraphrasing here, but in terms of hiring lawyers for Uphold the company. And he cited that one of their lawyers used to have, I can't remember what the position was, but it was a position with the SEC in New York. And he said emphatically, like all of the lawyers that they have hired, I don't know how many they hired, but multiple lawyers, all of them have the exact same opinion, including this lawyer that used to work at the SEC, that XRP today is not a security. And this is just what I keep finding. So it's difficult to find lawyers that believe today XRP is a security outside of those who are currently employed by the SEC. You can find them at the SEC. They'll say yes, indeed it is, and then you can find a couple that are anti-Ripple and XRP, and I think that bleeds. I think that bleeds into what they say their opinion is. I think it's just bias. Outside of that, though, no. It's very difficult to find a lawyer that believes that. So anyway, there we go. I just found it to be all very genuinely interesting stuff. I still think ultimately, there's no way to know, but I'm optimistic for the future in terms of, a long-term viability of XRP. And I think that ultimately we're going to get the regulatory clarity that is needed for XRP to persist. But stay tuned. We're just going to have to sit tight and keep on watching. But I will go ahead and wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.